So, you have decided in your vast and highly superior infinite wisdom that the FCCs should be doged, defunded, closed, canceled, abolished, or otherwise eliminated. And you have made your expert opinion known to the world by projectile regurgitating comments all over every YouTube video and Facebook and X post that you can find. Of course, you also shared this vastly superior opinion of yours on Blue Sky, but everybody there just keeps saying, Orange Man bad. And they weren't really interested in hearing anything else, so that was just a waste of time. And if it wasn't you saying those things, I'm sure you've seen those posts and comments excreted by some people and online experts on my videos and all over the interweb, except at Blue Sky because, you know. So allow me to share with you just a few things to consider before you articulate your expert opinion about getting rid of the FCCs in public ever again. And bear in mind that I am no fan of the FCCs, but I'm also not an idiot. So here are just a few things, and not even a full list of what would happen if you could snap your fingers and Thanos away the FCCs. First of all, your federal taxes would not go down because the FCCs was never funded by taxpayer dollars. It was, until you decided it should be eliminated, self-funded. Second of all, and to put it simply, within just a few days or maybe weeks, your world, as you know it, would begin to change in ways that your little Tylenol-spawned mind could never even begin to grasp. And within a year or two, that world as you knew it would cease to exist completely. Allow me to elaborate. The things you rely on, the things you grew up with, like over-the-air television and regular AM/FM radio, would eventually all be overrun with interference and pirate radio and TV operators. TV and AM or FM radio would eventually sound like Channel 6 on a CB radio. Your cell phone would quickly become nothing more than a direct conduit for text spammers and robocallers to get in touch with you all day long, every day, nonstop. That is, if you could even get a cell phone signal with all of the jammers and interference. And if you use Wi-Fi, a baby monitor, a garage door opener, a drone, or anything that uses Bluetooth, forget it. Because without the FCCs to test and certify radio equipment, along with the now unregulated use of all of those things, they would all eventually be rendered pretty much useless. And Starlink or a Garmin emergency tracker, forget it. Unregulated competition, interference, jamming, and things I probably haven't even thought about would render those as useless as trying to explain economics to someone with blue hair and a nose ring. And even if you use an old-fashioned wire to plug into the internet, without the FCCs, your internet provider would be able to do whatever it wanted. If they don't like what websites you're connecting to, they can just block them. If they need more money to fund their DEI initiatives, they can just force pop-up ads into your web browser. If they don't like how much data you're using, they'll just throttle you as much as they want, whenever they want. They wouldn't even need a reason because internet providers would be able to do whatever they feel like doing. Do you have a grandmother, a child, a wife, or a husband, or any loved ones? Probably not, because nobody likes you. But if you did, you'd better hope they don't get into a car crash or ever need an ambulance, because eventually no ambulance would ever be able to get dispatched through all of the interference that would be permeating the airwaves. And if someone breaks into your house, or if it catches on fire, forget it. You're going to be on your own. Thinking about flying somewhere? Good luck with that. And forget about GMRS hams radios or business radio frequencies, because like everything else, they would all eventually sound the same way that CB radio has sounded for the last 30 years. Now, of course, because of all of this over-the-air chaos that surely would ensue, because you decided that we don't need the FCCs anymore, some states would try to enact their own laws to criminalize and control this behavior. And over time, many state-run versions of the FCCs would eventually start popping up all over the country to try to do what the FCCs was doing before you, in your infinite wisdom, decided that we didn't need it anymore. And all of these DMV versions of the FCCs would result in higher state taxes and no doubt cause more chaos due to conflicting regulations between states, probably also resulting in higher prices for things like cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, AM/FM radios, and two-way radios. However, the decision to abolish the FCCs would not be all bad. There would be an upside. And this upside is the actual reason why so many of the online experts want the FCC abolished, and no doubt making all of the consequences I've just told you about all worth it. And that upside is, without the FCCs, you would no longer have to pay the $35 fee for a GMRS or hams radio license.